This episode may contain explicit language.
What do you do when your autistic, non-speaking kid's school is just not communicating enough?
To put yourself in the place of someone whose child cannot tell you what is going on is very, very difficult.
Email trails, like paper trails, are everything because it's just a system.
I mean, this teacher sounds wonderful. I am going to be surprised if they can't give you something. You are not a needy mom. You are a mom in need.
Yes.
This is Karen Feeding. We're three friends with kids who get together every week to talk life, swap advice, and keep each other sane while we muddle through this weird and wonderful thing called parenting. I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. I have three kids, Henry who's 13, Oliver who's 11, and Teddy who's 9, and I live in Honolulu, Hawaii.
I'm Zak Rosen. I make another podcast. It's called Weirdly Helpful. I am dad to Noah, who's 8, Ami, who's 5, and we live in Detroit, where it's 5 degrees.
Damn, David or Daniel. Hey, I'm Lucy Lopez. I'm a teen mom. I'm just kidding. My kids are teens. Amelia's 15, Avery's 13, and we live in Miami, Florida. And it is right now, Zach, I just want to make you like a little jealous if you don't mind.
I need some heat. Give it to me.
I'm going to tell you right now, it is a freezing 72 degrees.
Oh my God. I hope you're wearing your turtleneck sweater.
All right, well, we're here to talk about the ups, downs, and everything in between when it comes to parenting. Every week, we answer your questions, share our own parenting triumphs and fails, and try to make this feel like the kind of conversation you have with your friends.
And today, we've got a tough question to answer. What do you do when your autistic, non-speaking kid's school is just not communicating enough about what's going on during school hours? We have a lot of thoughts on this one, so we're going to get to it. This one came from the Slate parenting column. You can also read that response on the Slate site. Zach, will you read this for us?
Dear Karen Feeding, I have an 8-year-old son who is autistic and non-speaking. He's in a special ed class in our city's public school system. Our school system is notoriously underfunded, but I've always felt like all of his teachers and principals and therapists have really cared about the kids. I think he is getting what he needs out of school, and he is always happy to go and happy to be home after. But I'm not getting what I need. I have never been thrilled with the amount of communication from the schools, but this year has been worse than usual, in that I never hear anything about his school day outside of IEP meetings and biannual parent-teacher conferences. Past teachers have at least sent monthly updates about what the class is up to, though some have sent updates more often or even pictures. But this teacher sends nothing. When we do meet for parent-teacher conferences or IEP meetings, however, it is clear he is an excellent teacher and paying very close attention to my son. He has wonderful insights and anecdotes, and I cherish them so much. But I've been living on the crumbs of those first semester anecdotes for months, and I need more. In his last IEP meeting, I brought up that I loved learning about what he was doing at school so we could do it at home, and suggested that more regular dispatches from school would be really helpful. But I was too scared to ask to put it in the IEP. I know as a parent that I have power, but I also know that his teachers and therapists are overworked and drastically underpaid, and I just can't bring myself to ask them to do more work just to make me feel better. Like I said, my son is happy at drop-off and happy at pickup. Unfortunately, we have to have a babysitter do both due to my work schedule, so I can't chat with the teacher then. But I know absolutely nothing about how he is during school. What is actually reasonable for me to ask for? And how can I do it when I've gone a whole half year with this teacher not asking for anything? Is this just what happens when your kids get older? My friends with neurotypical kids are like, we haven't known what's going on at school in years. But I feel like it's different if your kid literally cannot tell you anything. Signed, Needy Mom.
The question here is like, what can parents ask for from schools? To put yourself in the place of someone whose child cannot tell you what is going on, you can't even
Literally.
get crumbs from them,
Yeah.
is very, very difficult. And so from that place, I, first of all, always think that you should ask for what you need. And if you do it in a kind way and you don't expect anything, there is nothing wrong with asking. I just think there is no reason why you can't send an email that says, exactly this.
Send him the
my
sweater.
kid is so happy, but I need something else because I don't get anything at home. Like, I have no idea, and I want to be a part of this. So where can we meet in the middle? And how can I, as the parent, help facilitate this, right?
And like, you didn't know when you talked about the dispatches, what you were going to need then. You didn't know that the crumbs wouldn't last. So like, it's totally fine to be like, I thought that I didn't need this, but it turns out I would love ... and just have a clear and realistic sense of like what would be reasonable, because you can't ask for, I mean, you can ask for whatever you want, but like the reality of what this teacher is able to do might be what do you think? Like a little email, one email a week is, like, I don't think she needs so much. She just needs something.
You need something, and to Elizabeth's point, you reminding them calmly that communication isn't optional. When a child is non-speaking, it's part of the process. You're not asking for extras. You're literally asking for equity. Like you need to make sure that everything, all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. And she's right. Put it in writing. It's not, you're not being aggressive. You're just being clear. And yeah, if there's anything I've learned with working with other people, is just like email trails, like paper trails are everything, because it's just a system. It's not, you're not asking for a favor. You're asking for a system that works for you, your son, and what you guys are trying to accomplish as a family.
Let's be honest, life gets messy, families fight, coworkers overstep, partners do weird stuff in bed. Luckily, Slate's advice columnists have seen it all. Sign up for the free Slate Advice newsletter and get our latest takes on sex, parenting, money, and every moral gray area in between, plus exclusive bonus letters delivered straight to your inbox. Subscribe now at slate.com/advice.
And everyone communicates so differently. So like if you sat in this meeting and you felt like you dropped a hint, hey, I'd love to know more, to someone else, I'd love to know more. Like, I love when I get this, and I'd love to hear more of these, can just be an affirmation of what's being done. And so I think being super clear and saying,
yes,
if I had it my way, again, I think it should be laid out just like this letter. My kid is so happy. Gosh, when I meet with you, it's like, so much about him. And like, I am just so thankful for the care he gets every day. Because he doesn't speak and because I can't hear anything, I want more, my work schedule means that I'm not there. And like, I really want to know what he's doing during his day. I also understand you're super busy and you are providing this kind of care for X number of students.
Yeah.
Is there some way that we can, can I text you once a week for a quick, how did today go? And you can text me back a little antidote or something that happened today. Can I shoot you an email? Like maybe it's an issue of it's like other parents are doing this and you're not doing anything to get it back because you don't want to be a burden. I think if you ask, there is the possibility that they say, I mean, I don't know any teacher who would say like, I just am too full to provide you with some information about your non-speaking child and what they do. But I mean, there's a possibility they do that. And I think then it becomes a question of like, if the teacher says like, there is just not enough hours in your day, my day, to do all of this, I think then you could definitely pursue something in the IEP that says like, I need to know what's going on. So that
because IEPs can be amended. It's not like they're.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And you're constantly meeting about them, about what you need, right? Because if you need to be repeating this stuff at home, that would kind of be the IEP ground. But I think the second thing then, if your teacher says that, the second thing you can do is go to the school and say, what can we do to try to make sure that these teachers have time to do this, right? Like there's this larger push of like, you cannot be the only parent who feels this way. And systematically, what do we need to do to make sure that parents are getting this information?
I mean, this teacher sounds wonderful. I am going to be surprised if they can't give you something. Like your kid is so happy. What a relief that it's this, that like, you're getting nothing, but your kid's happy, instead of like, he's coming home, he doesn't seem like he's doing well, and I have no idea why. Like this is a little bump, I think, but it's totally reasonable for you to amend your ask and for you to clarify what you need. And maybe you won't get all of it.
I feel like the mom almost feels bad, Zach, that's the situation. Like I don't want to ask for any more because things are good. And it's like, it is okay to ask for what you need, as long as you do it in a way that isn't like, Zach, like you said, that you're not like, I need an email every week and I need photos and it's like,
I need a Ring camera installed in every corner of the room.
But you're not doing that. Like you're already a very empathetic person. what teacher wouldn't want to hear, like, I want to know more about what you are doing so that I can reflect that to my student, even though they can't speak about it, right? To be able to say, like, I heard you did this with with Mr. So-and-so today. Like, how amazing. He said you made this great art, like, or whatever it is.
And ask for those things, like obviously, and I hate that you're calling yourself a needy mom because you're not too much. And I know we don't know each other like that, but I don't think you're too much. You're the bridge between your child and a world that still doesn't listen enough.
You're an amazing mom.
To families.
I think we should say that.
You're an amazing mother because you keep being that bridge for your child to the world out here. And that to me is like amazing. And I don't think you're going to come up with like these vague questions like how was their day? Like, obviously ask for concrete things like what supports were used today? Any moments of distress or joy? Like
did they create something? Did they
what'd you make? Yeah.
Yeah. As a parent who's had to advocate, right? And eventually I think all parents have to advocate for their kids. We do get into this place where we just feel like the people that we're talking to are the people that are feeding into our kids constantly. And the problem itself is actually more systematic. And so we don't want to put more burdens. But I think that in my experience, most people who deal with our children want to be partners with us, but are also feeling like, I don't want to burden them, or I don't want to put effort into something that's not returned. Like, there are so many reasons to not spend the time doing this until you have these kind of conversations. And I just always think it's good to be in conversation in a way that works for you. Is that email? Is that text? And having just an open conversation with the teacher? I want to be in conversation with you. What is the best way for that? If I email you every week, is that annoying? Or is that, I think you can be really frank and say, I don't want to bother you, but I also need this and I want to know how to communicate with you.
Yeah, find out how, like, how Elizabeth said, like, oh, create like a text, like maybe that's how they communicate. But if they're on their computer for like schoolwork, like emails and stuff like that, a good solution would be like a doc, like a Word doc that you create.
Yeah.
And they get an alert on their phone, like, once a week, and it comes from you. So you're even taking off the load of like making a Word doc, doing this, like you do it.
I'd love to hear how you proceed. You are not a needy mom. You are a mom in need.
Yes.
So keep us posted and let us know what's going on. And listener, we want to know how you would handle this. And if you've had a tough time communicating with your kid's school, I think that most of us have in some way. Email us your experience at careandfeedingpod@slate.com, or join the conversation in the Slate Parenting Facebook group, or call and leave us a voicemail at 646-357-9318.
And that's our show. Wherever, however you're listening, subscribe, leave a rating and review, and tell your friends. And don't forget, if you prefer to watch, we're on YouTube. If you want more parenting advice, you can find Care and Feeding, the column, on slate.com. This episode of Care and Feeding is produced by Cheyna Roth. Micah Phillips is our video producer. Mia Lobel is executive director of podcasts for Slate. And Ben Richmond is senior director of podcast operations.
I'm Zak Rosen. You can find me at MuZachary on Instagram, MuZachary.
I'm Lucy Lopez, and you can find me on IG at the Lucy Lopez.
And I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. You can find me on Instagram at EJDN. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here on Monday.
If you want more no-nonsense advice about parenting, relationships, money, and everything else life throws your way, sign up for the Slate Advice newsletter. A special thanks to our Slate Plus members. If you haven't already, consider joining. Slate Plus members get unlimited access to all of Slate's journalism and help support our independent reporting.